Hello everyone, this is Manish Deswal. Today we are going to discuss the solution of our day 4 of the daily MCQ quiz. So these were the questions that were provided on day 4, and we had 4 questions, and we will discuss solution of these questions today. And okay, one information to you all people, we are now active on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. So these are the QR codes on the left and right. You can see, you can follow us on Instagram, and also like on uh, Facebook. You can like our page and follow our page. And also we have like Facebook group. You can search IOE Pulchuk in Trans Helpdesk. We are available on like LinkedIn, Facebook group, Facebook page, and Instagram as well. And also on like YouTube, you can watch this video, or you are watching this video on our YouTube channel, IOE Pulchuk in Trans Helpdesk. So please stay tuned. We'll be bringing more and more quality uh, this content for your preparation, and even for like GATE preparation also we'll bring quality content. And we are thinking of starting some programming courses like Python for data science, and also as usual we used to do C programming. So we will also conduct some live sessions, so you can just study from us and take benefit out of it free of cost. So let's move ahead to question number 1. So this is the question number 1, you can see on this screen. Let me read it. Each edge of Q is 10 centimeter and rate of change of its edge is 5 cm per second. Then rate of change of volume is what? Options are 500 cm cube per second. Option B is 1000 cm cube per second. Option C is 1500 cm cube per second. And option D is 2000 cm cube per second. Is like just left here. Okay, so these are the 4 options, and like right option is 1500 cm cube per second. So let me describe how it is. And so by reading this question, you should be able to recall that this question is from what? Application of derivative, right? Because you can see rate of change things here na. So it's actually from application of derivative. So, and we are going talking about edge of q. So what do you mean by q? A q is a geometrical shape, right, in which there are 6 sides and 6 edges, and all of the 6 edges are what? Equal in length, right? So this is an example of like just a rough sketch I have drawn here. So you can see this is a q, and this L denotes its length of each of its these sides or edges, you can say. So L is the length, and B denotes its volume. So like maybe let's discuss it formally. So we have supposed that let L be the length of the edge of Q, and V denote the volume of this Q. Okay. So as per the given information, we have the length of 10 centimeter, right, at the beginning, and the rate of change of length is what? dl by dt, right? So dl by dt is given how much? It is given 5 cm per second. That means length is either increasing or decreasing 5 per second. It's like just given rate of change. It's not given like whether it is increasing or decreasing. So of course it's positive. So you must think that it's like rate of increase of length, right? Then rate of change of volume is, so rate of change of volume dv by dt, it is asking you. Okay. So we need to calculate actually dv by dt. So for this, first let's figure out the relationship between volume and length, right? Volume and length relationship we should figure out, and then from that we should be able to our like figure out what is the value of dv by dt. Okay. So we know that volume of a cube is how much? Volume of a cube is lq, that is length raised to the power 3, right? So that will be the volume of a cube. And when we differentiate both sides with respect to t, we get that rate of change of volume is equal to like uh, d lq by dt. That when you calculate the derivative, here we have used the derivative formula of what? Dx to the power n by dx, right? And chain rule also we have to use. So in that way, what it will come is, okay, just a minute. So dx by, sorry, dx to the power n by dt is equal to how much? When you just write it in detail form, d, you have to balance it, right? We write dx, then dx chain rule we are using here. So dx by dt, right? Then we have n x to the power n minus 1, then dx by dt. So just in place of x, we have L in our case. So this whole chain rule detail I showed you here. Chain rule and also the normal x and derivative thing also is happening here. So when you do the derivative of LQ with respect to t, we get 3L square dl by dt. Okay, and then we have to substitute the value of L, because L was given initial values na, initial values given 10. So when you substitute value of L as 10, so 10 square times 5, dl by dt is given what? 5 cm per second. So when you multiply this, I will get the value of 1500 cm3 per second. So, and this is the value of what? Our rate of change of volume. Okay, so which is option C in our question. You can see in option C we have 1500 cm per second. So like this is the usual thing we used to do in our like normal theoretical exam, but in entrance exam you don't need to do all these like detailed solution. You can just do each the main core thing, like this. When you do in entrance exam, what you do is you just note that your initial L is 10 cm, right? Then we have dl by dt. Dl by dt is how much? Dl by dt is how much? 5 cm per second. Then we have to calculate what? Dv by dt. You have to calculate, right? So you can simply write dv by dt equal to dlq by dt. Then you can write 3l square dl by dt, and then put the values and you are done. So just this much calculation you need to do in entrance exam. This much rough work you should be doing, or less than this, not more than this. Okay. So this all you don't need to write. Let L denote the length of the queue, edge of the queue, or this that. Just for your just to make you understand, or like in normal theory exam you used to do na. So that thing we did, but in entrance exam just do as this black circled thing. Black, I mean within this black lining I have written some code, this na steps. So these steps just write and do the calculations so that you can save time. Okay. So for question number 1, the option C, that is 1500 cm3 per second is the right option. Okay. So we are done with question number 1. Now let's move ahead to question number 2. Okay. So let me read this question. If the straight line ax plus by plus c equal to 0 always passes through the point 1 comma minus 2, then a b c are in. Okay. So suppose if any straight line passes through any point, I mean if a straight line is passes through, always passing through a point. So suppose this point is P A, sorry, P C, no, this point is, suppose this point is P M N. Okay. If this point is P M N and this line ax plus by plus c equal to 0 passes through Mn, then what will be the condition? It will, this straight line should satisfy this point. That means a times m plus b times n plus c equal to 0. You have to, when you put the value of x as m and value of y as n, it should still satisfy that. Okay. So that means like if a straight line passes through this point, then it should satisfy it. Okay. Now since this line passes through the point 1 minus 2, it should always satisfy this equation, right? Since it always passes, so it should always satisfy this equation. So I'll put the value of 1 and minus 2 for x and y respectively in this equation, and then we see that a plus c equal to 2b, and then when you see the value of b, it will be a plus c by 2. So you can see now b is what? B looks like the arithmetic mean of ac, right? Remember the arithmetic mean. Arithmetic mean we used to have the like sum of the left term and right term in arithmetic series, and then sum them and divide by 2. We used to get what? Arithmetic mean. So if b is the arithmetic mean of a and c, then of course a, b, c given in this series, it should be what? B should be a, b, c should be in what? AP. So our option option A is right answer, right? It's very easy question. So it's like when you do in entrance exam, what you will be doing, you just do this much. You don't need to write these all formalities na. So just in this much, less than 1 minute you can solve it, right? So in this case, like don't play with the option first only, and just plug, I mean just try to satisfy this point, and then see among the options whichever is like your required, matching with the required observation, just that is your option. And yeah, read through the options, all of the options. Like in this case there is one non option, so maybe if that is not in any like AP, GP or this thing, um, HP, it should be like maybe none can also be sometime your answer. So read the answer options properly. Okay. So we are done with question number 2 also. Now let's move to question number 3. So for today, our question number 3 is as follows. So the sum of slopes of the lines are represented by 4x square plus 2hxy minus 7y square equal to 0 is equal to the product of slopes, then h is equal to. So this equation given is what? A homogeneous quadratic equation, right? A quadratic equation it is given, and a quadratic equation which has only homogeneous term, I mean second degree term, represents what? A pair of straight line passing through origin, right? A pair of straight line passing through what? Passing through origin. Okay. So suppose we have like coordinate axis x dash x, y dash y. So this homogeneous second degree equation represents line L1 and L2. L1 and L2. Okay. So recall that this ax square plus 2hxy plus by square equal to 0 represents what? A pair of straight line passing through origin. So let's suppose L1 and L2 are those lines. Those can be any general line. Those are passing through origin, right? So just for like generalization, suppose L1 and L2 are those two lines. So let m1 y equal to m1x plus c1 be the first line. Like we have the slope of m1 and this y intercept of c1, and second line, let's suppose that y equal to m2x plus c2, which has slope of m2 and this y intercept of c2, be those two lines. Then when you just transpose now this thing to on the left and this thing again to the left and product both of these, calculate the product of both of these, you'll get these conditions, right? Okay. So y minus m1x minus c1 times y minus m2x minus c2. So this, and when you just multiply each of these terms, you will get something like this, and then do some like simplification. So you'll have like this. So these are only the second degree terms, and rest others are you can see here first degree or like only constant term 0 degree terms. So for this equation 2 to represent equation 1, uh, like there should only be the homogeneous terms, like non-homogeneous terms will be like not considered, or like it will be just evaluated to 0. Okay. So in question what we can see that in m1 and m2 are what? Slope of these two lines L1 and L2. So you can see that very like useful um, uh, for our usefulness, here we can see that m1 plus m2 have already come, right? So m1 plus m2, when m1 and m2 represent slope of two lines, then m1 plus m2 are what? Slope of those lines. And m1 times m2 means what? Product of slope. Here sum of slopes and here product of slopes, right? And you can see that here coefficient of y is 1. Coefficient of y is 1. So for this equation 1 to represent equation 2, what we need to? We need to divide both sides of equation 1 by b, right? So that it will be like evaluated to like it will be evaluated to the case that coefficient of y square is 1. So when you divide now, you get what? A by b x square plus 2h by b xy plus y square. Okay, so now we will be comparing this divided equation uh, and like this equation. These two, when you compare na, what you will get? You'll get that coefficient of xy is 2h by b. So and here coefficient of xy is m1 plus m2. So m1 plus m2 will get minus 2h by b. That is sum of the slopes of these two straight lines represented by this homogeneous equation of second degree, and this coefficient of x square, that is m1 times m2, and from here you can see a coefficient of x square is a by b. So m1 times m2 is equal to what? We got from this equation is a by b. So this is the product of slopes. And in question it is given that, you can read it again, that the slope of the lines, the sum of the slopes of the lines represented by this quadratic equation is equal to the product. I mean, this question means that m1 plus m2 is equal to sum of the slopes is equal to product of the slopes. That is m1 plus m2 is equal to what? m1 times m2, right? So that we'll have to use from this like clue from this question and then proceed. Okay, so from questions we are given that slope of the lines represented by this equation is equal to product of these lines, and sum of the slopes is equal to product of the slopes. So it is given that m1 plus m2 is equal to m1 plus m2 is equal to m1 times m2, and m1 plus m2 value is what? We have to like just note it down. Remember, for always the slope of the lines represented by this quadratic equation will be given by product will be given by some of the product of the slopes will be given by a by b, and some of the slopes will be given by what? Minus 2h by b. Just note it down and remember, don't do this derivation every time in entrance exam or in even in board exams. You can just use it just for to make you understand. If you have forgot, I just explained you. Okay, so sum of the slopes of the straight lines represented by homogeneous equation of second degree is minus 2h by b, and the product of the slopes is a by b. Okay, so when you substitute the values of sum of slopes and product of slopes, you get minus 2h by b and a by b, and b like gets cancelled because b is not equal to 0 na. Since b is not equal to 0, so we can just divide both side by or multiply both side by b, and then we get is h is equal to minus a by b. So what was the value of a? We can see here the value of a was 4. So uh, 4, and this we got from the we have been given in the questions na. I mean, in the question it is given that this is the quadratic equation. So when you compare this with what? Ax square plus 2hxy plus by square equal to 0, you have coefficient of x square a, and from this equation you have 4. So a equal to 4. H coefficient we have is h itself only, and then b is equal to what? Minus 7 coefficient of y square. So from there we have got this value by comparing this with a standard like second degree equation, homogeneous second degree equation. So value of h you get is minus a by 2, that is minus 4 by 2 is minus 2. So option our D will be your right answer, our right answer. Okay, option D will be right answer. So and that uh, so this is our right answer. So in exam, don't do these derivatives. Just to make you understand, I did it. In entrance exam, you have to start from this one. Slope and product of the slopes are Sum of the slopes and product of the slopes are equal. So m1 plus m2 equal to m1 this, and then sum of the slopes will be what? Minus 2h by b, and again this is a by b. So just do these all, do this, and then substitute the values, and then you are done. Like in 4 step maximum you are done. So you don't need to do the explain, I mean derivations. I just did it for uh, making it clear to you all. Okay, so in this also it can be solved in less than a minute or like couple of minutes. Now let's move ahead to question number 4. So question number 4 for today was from binomial expansion, this binomial chapter, binomial expansion. So if the coefficient of xq in the expansion of 1 plus alpha x to the power whole to the power 4 is 32, then what is the value of alpha, right? So its right answer is 2, and let's see how it comes. So recall that the coefficient of x to the power r in the expansion of 1 plus 1 plus ax to the power n is given by what? ncr a to the power r. So this you should just recall. Okay, just remember it. In the expansion of a 1 plus a x to the x whole to the power n is given by the coefficient of x to the power is given by ncr r, where c is ncr is what? ncr formula is given here. See, ncr is equal to n factorial by r factorial n minus r factorial. And factorial you should be knowing to calculate. N factorial means what? N minus 1 and product up to 1. Just go on decreasing 1 by 1 and up to 1. Whatever the product result will come, that is your n factorial. Okay, so the coefficient of xq in the expansion of 1 plus alpha x whole to the power 4 is, here value of n will be what? Value of n will be 4, right? And value of r will be 3. So and its coefficient will be given by what? 4c3 alpha to the power 3 equal to 32. It's given in the question, right? The coefficient of this xq is 32. So now 4c3 is what? 4 factorial by 3 factorial 4 minus 3 factorial, that is n factorial by r factorial n minus r factorial, that is ncr. Okay, and then alpha q 32. When you just simplify it, you get to see that this 4 factorial, in 4 factorial we have 4 times 3 factorial. So below is 3 factorial, 3 factorial gets cancelled, we have 4, and on the right side we have 32. So 4 when divided by like 32 when divided by 4, we'll have result 8. So 8, and when you calculate the q root of 8, you get 2. So our option A is the right answer. Okay, so the value of alpha is like 2 for the coefficient to have like for the term x cube to have the coefficient of 32. Okay, so in entrance exam what you have to do is you don't have to write this one. This thing you don't need to write, because I have already written for you just to make you understand. And now you just remember this formula. Okay, so in entrance exam how will I do if I was in your place? ncr a to the power r. So just note down the value of n. N is value of n is 4, r value is 3. So now do just substitute and do. So ncr value is what given is 30. So now from here only substitute these values and do the calculation. So this also you can do in less than a minute. Okay, less than a minute. So in this way you can do. This had come in IU 71st entrance exam, in which I had appeared, and it was for 2 marks. So these were 2 marks questions. Okay, so we are done with day 4 also. We'll soon upload our videos for day 5. Please just stay tuned and subscribe our YouTube channel, and also inform your friends to get connected us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and get optimal benefit from us. And if you have any doubts, you can ask us in comment section or on our Facebook page, or discuss with your friends or like other people in our Facebook group. You people are always welcome. Okay, so today we'll stop it here. Thank you. Thank you for watching us.